What's up everybody, it's Sean here, back today to give you guys a look at the Syntilay Xplorer slide in this red colorway. So this is a very unique pair of slides, and what makes it so unique among many reasons is that it's 3D printed but based off of the exact measurements for your specific feet. So that means they're not going to be off the shelf, and as part of ordering these slides, I measured my feet using a piece of 8.5 by 11 white paper, and then using artificial intelligence, it was able to calculate the shape of my feet based off of the different angles of photos that I sent, and that went into 3D printing this specific slide just for me. So before I go any further, I want to give a huge thank you over to Syntilay for sending me over these slides. As a company, I believe Syntilay just launched earlier this year, and this Explorer slide retails for a price of $150 US. They're again custom made for you, so it takes about 3 to 4 weeks for the 3D printing process to finish and get to your door. And Syntilay partners with Zellerfeld, which is a company based out of Hamburg, Germany, and they specialize specifically in 3D printing shoes. So these slides come in a variety of colors, but this red was the one that really caught my eye. It just has this really bold look to it, and with such a bold design, I just wanted to accentuate that fact, so I decided to pick the red colorway. So the overall material of these slides, these are made of what Zellerfeld calls Zeller foam, and it's basically a TPU material, and then it's 3D printed, so there's no glue, there's no stitching. It's just one solid piece that's entirely fused together. So you can see these very subtle slits all across the material, which ensures that there's still a lot of flexibility in it. As I press down on top of it, you can just see how easily it collapses. So while it gives you a lot of support, it still is very malleable. And then if I run my fingers across the footbed, you can see how these slits just kind of ripple across. And according to the website, this material is supposed to be odorless and it's supposed to be washable as well. So the overall design of these slides, I just gotta say it's very different. It's definitely not minimalistic, and it's really different, at least to me, from all the other slides being offered in the market right now. In fact, if you ask for my opinion, it almost looks like it's organic. It almost looks like it's like a living thing, something you'd see washed up on shore at a beach or something. It just looks very futuristic, but again, very organic at the same time. So on the top piece that covers your toes, you can see we have the letters SY for Syntilay, and all throughout, it just has a very sculpted look to it. You're not gonna find smooth, simple sections on this slide whatsoever. And then as far as the bottom goes, so the traction pattern here, it looks relatively simple as far as actual traction goes. However, we do have the words Syntilay written across the middle, but because these slides don't have actual rubber on the bottom, I have concerns, and I'm kind of curious actually to see how these will hold up if you wear these outside. Will this Zeller foam just rip apart? According to them, it's supposed to be pretty durable, but on a personal level, that just remains to be seen. So I'm definitely gonna wear these outside, and I'm very curious to see how these will hold up. Also, you can see we have open areas right on the front of the toe box and one on either side, both the medial and lateral sides. So there's a lot of airflow. This is not gonna be a stuffy feeling slide. And that's great, especially if you plan on rocking these with socks. As far as the sizing goes, so again, because these were uniquely made to fit my specific feet, honestly, the fit of this slide is pretty much perfect. My left foot is a bit wider and I have a higher instep compared to my right, and I didn't notice any discomfort whatsoever. It hugs my feet in the right places and it gives me breathing room and accommodates my slightly wider feet where it's also needed. So yes, $150 for slides is very expensive, but there's something to be said about having a product that's made specifically for you and it's gonna fit you exactly how you need it to fit. But as far as the comfort goes, so the underfoot feeling of these slides is actually pretty soft, generally speaking. So the forefoot I felt definitely had more of a dense, firmer feel, whereas the heel, where it's just thicker on this backside, there's a lot more softness to it and there's a lot more give. So especially when you're just standing around, you just naturally feel like your feet fall backwards and sink into the softer area of the heel. For me, that felt a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit unnatural, almost like your feet are left pointing upwards, whereas to me, it just feels more natural if my feet are pointing forward. So I guess that's just how these were 3D printed, making the heel a little bit softer for impact protection. But I thought the contrast and softness between the heel and the forefoot was just a little bit too extreme for me. I would have liked a little bit more firmness in the heel. I also noticed that the edge right here where your foot makes contact with this overlay, it felt a little bit rough. And I suspect if I was to wear these for a long period of time, and if I wasn't wearing any socks, I'd probably have some chafing on my foot because this area does feel a little bit firm, and because of how it tapers, I could see it really causing some issues on the top of my foot. So again, this probably depends on your specific feet, but for me, I'm probably just gonna wear these barefoot for short periods of time, or if I'm wearing these for longer periods of time, I'll make sure I rock these with socks. So let me slip these on and I'll show you how these actually look when worn on feet. So overall, it really comes down to what you think of the design of these Xplorer slides. Do you think they're a little bit too strange? Are you not feeling the whole organic look of this slide? I don't know. It's not really for everyone. For me, I appreciate the actual design of it. I just think the comfort on these leaves a little bit to be desired. The fit is great. It's just the contrast between the softness in the heel versus the firmness of the forefoot, as well as this area right here where your foot slides into, caused me a little bit of discomfort. So that's a shame. I was really hoping to love these a lot. Obviously, because these were custom printed for my feet, I just naturally feel some ownership towards this pair. But I think there's areas that can be improved if they ever decide to do a V2 or even just to tweak the design of this Xplorer slide. I think it definitely can be better in certain areas. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this Syntilay Xplorer slide? What are your thoughts? Leave it down below, and as usual, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I'll link my social media accounts for you guys to check out and follow me there. And again, a huge thank you over to Syntilay for sending me over these slides. So until next time, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll catch everybody in my next video.